Welcome to a brand new series. This one is called Rockend Rockstars, where we talk to some of the rock stars of the property management industry. And we're absolutely delighted to be able to do this too, because it puts us in touch with an area that we don't spend a lot of time on, but there is so much quality inside property management businesses around Australia and New Zealand. Our first guest is Tamsin Wilson from Belle Property. Tamsin, welcome to the show and thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your business, where you're located.
We're in Parramatta in New South Wales, in the western suburbs. We probably known as the centre of Sydney, so we're kind of becoming that second CBD for New South Wales at the moment.
Yeah, because that Parramatta region for some time was sort of like far-reaching, wasn't it? But now it's very much a part of the Sydney area, Sydney cosmopolitan area anyway.
Absolutely.
Now, your business, I'm told by our good friends at Rockhand that you run a very tight ship, so we'll talk about that, and that you're very focused on processes that deliver a consistent service to your landlords that doesn't rely on the relationship with the property manager. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that during this session. The scale of your business, 2,400 properties under management?
Absolutely, at the moment, yes.
How mature is the business? How long have you been there?
The business is about 15 years old. I've been here now going on 7 years. But we've got strong business owners that have always been within the community of Parramatta. And it's a family business, so it's been in the family for over that 15 years now.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, those 2,500 or 2,400 properties, have they come through just organic growth, or have they been purchased over the years?
We've made two major purchases over the time. So in the last 6 years, there's been a combination. We're at 1,000, then we purchased another 1,000. And obviously became 2,000. Then we went through only just this month, we settled on our second rent roll, bringing us up to 2,400. So that was a rent roll of about 300 that we just purchased.
Congratulations. That's that's absolutely fantastic. And of course, doesn't the business go through a great growth spurt when you do that too?
It's been a challenge and an interesting time purchasing another one. But yes, we've definitely seen that growth in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, which brings me to the point that I really want to touch on, and that is technology. And of course, I understand that you use Rockend. You're a great Rockend user. They tell me that you're very technology focused, so we'll talk about that. But you bring about efficiency of scale. Can we talk about that and how technology is helping you do that, and what does it look like?
It's probably one of our biggest frustrations is we're always looking at how we can continue to grow our business without obviously ever jeopardizing jobs, having to put on too many more people in that scale, obviously being affected. Technology still is very fragmented for us, but we've always tried to embrace it where we can. Even if it can save us 5 minutes a day, like we've adopted that kind of process within our business. Our team is very, very structured on how they are to do things, and everybody works the same way, which I think is really important to get that efficiencies. And we've got people doing set jobs and set roles. But definitely that scale is something that we're always focusing on. How can we do more without obviously ever having to put on too much more staff or ever having to lose any staff as well at the same time?
So how instrumental in developing that is your relationship with Rockhand? How does that work?
We've been pretty privileged that we've spent a lot of time with Rockhand in terms of trying to grow and develop our processes and the systems. Our big thing is we're moving over to Property Tree next month, so end of financial year we're jumping on board. And from the conversations I've had, we're going to be one of the largest businesses jumping onto the Property Tree. We've spent a good 2 years breaking the system, putting it in, understanding what the system can do. And I think for our mindset is understanding we're not going from REST to a REST in a cloud situation, but we're actually going from REST to Property Tree. And it's actually a different kind of program, and not going, well, this is how we used to do things. Why can't I do it like that now? And really adopt their processes and their technology and what they've designed the system to do. So I've spent a lot of time, and again, they've been able to implement and things that from advice that we've given them. hey, this doesn't work in our business. It may work in a small business, but when you come to scale and large, the way you've got Property Tree working doesn't work. And they've actually taken on that that feedback, and actually started to implement some of those changes throughout Property Tree. So that technology piece has helped us feel comfortable and being able to move on and then start getting that scale and that efficiencies.
Yeah, Tamsin, that move to Property Tree, how long have you been planning it, and what would be your advice to someone who wants to make that change?
We've probably been planning it for a good 12 months. And we're probably pretty lucky that I've been able to step out. Like, I don't work day to day on managing properties, but I can step out and actually understand the system, break it, implement it, play with it throughout my background. I would suggest to anybody understanding why they want to change, what the outcome is for the clients. Now, remember, it's not just about the property manager, but it's actually about the clients at the end of the day, the tenants, the owners, what you want to achieve for them and what the technology is going to be able to do to achieve that for them. What are their expectations? What are their needs? What are their desires, etc. So trying to get that, understand it. I've always looked at programs not necessarily at where they're at today, but what their plans are for the future. Because obviously where they are today, fantastic, it's great, but where are they going? What are they doing? And actually getting to understand that will help you drive your business.
The goal that you've got that I mentioned right up the front of the show about providing consistent service for your landlords that doesn't necessarily rely on the relationship with the property manager. Is this a technology-driven initiative, and how is it coming together for you?
Yeah, it is. It probably isn't really a technology-driven, because the way we communicate with our people are changing. If you start to look at the structure of a day-to-day, when we actually try to call anybody, they're at work, they don't answer. We send them an email, to their personal emails, and they don't necessarily look at it during the day. But you send a text message or a WhatsApp message, and they instantly get that reaction to it. So the way we're communicating with clients are changing, and it's not necessarily a relationship base, which allows us to then look at, all right, the structure at the moment, that people are used to calling and speaking to one person. If they're not there, they don't talk to anybody else in the business, and they're not getting that instant answer that they should be used to and they should be able to get. So it's really trying to drive task base and just get that efficiencies without them having to deal with only that person can answer my question.
Mm. You've gone through some fairly major changes in terms of growth and so on. What would you say has been your main focus in your business over the last 12 months? What have you, if you had it up on the wall now, what would be your mission statement?
Our mission statement is probably an interesting one. We're always trying to see how we can make sure that our staff are happy to come to work every single day. Because if the staff are happy to come to work every single day, they're going to get the efficiencies with our landlords and our tenants, and they're going to be happy to do whatever needs to happen. We've really focused the last 12 months, obviously purchasing and acquiring the rent rolls has been something we've focused on, but we've also spent time focusing on Google and Google reviews for our business and our property management business, because tenants have really become the voice of what's happening in the industry. And the guys, nobody ever picks up the phone and goes, hey, you're doing a really good job, but they're happy to leave a Google review and say, you know what, really happy with how you're doing. And the staff love receiving that kind of feedback, and it makes it easier for them to come to work, because it's not always an easy day in property management. But at the end of the day, if you're happy and smiling, you're going to enjoy coming to work, and the tenants are going to feel it.
Talking about reviews, it's easy to leave a review. It's easy to leave a bad review, which is where you will probably find it, because they're not likely to pick the phone up and give you a bad review. Have you had any? And if so, how did you handle them?
We've had plenty. We're in property management. It comes with the territory, unfortunately, with it. Our Google reviews probably over the last 12 months have increased by over 100, which has been interesting, and a combination of negative and positive feedback, which again is industry, and that's where people find their voice of, I'm not happy with something, I'm going to leave it here. And I'm okay with that. I love the negative reviews, because that allows us that opportunity to either fix it or to actually show, okay, yes, this is where we've made a mistake, let's learn from it. Or sometimes it's working in the favor, where it's like, tenant, you've done wrong. Leaving a review is actually showing you look bad, not us look bad. So we've done our job and we've done everything we needed to do. It's actually you at the end of the day that didn't clean, you caused damage, etc. So the Google reviews are an opportunity and they work in our favour, even the negative ones.
Do you do those publicly? In other words, will you go back and respond in the same way they've put it up, or would you more likely pick the phone up?
I will always give the first opportunity of picking the phone up and having a conversation, understanding where they're coming from. We've actually been able to turn 1-star reviews into 5-star reviews just because of a misunderstanding and a miscommunication. So the team's always, and it's not me doing it, I get the team to do it because they're the ones that they're leaving the review about. So pick up the phone, find out, what have we done? How has this happened? I don't want you to ever leave our business feeling like you've only ever had 1-star service. So coming back, it's a misunderstanding. I didn't realize I had the opportunity to go back, whatever it is. And they've turned that around. So we'll always do it privately, but we'll always respond publicly at the end of it going, thanks for the conversation. Happy that we could assist you moving forward.
Very good. What does the next 12 months look for Belle Property Paramatta?
Oh, we're excited. Next 12 months, we're really excited. Moving obviously over to Property Tree is a big change. I'm not expecting like crazy changes in my business in the first probably 6 months of getting Property Tree into it, but actually just getting it in, understanding how it works, and then from there just really looking at how we structure our team, and not necessarily working again on that relationship, but on that task-based kind of situation where we're looking at, okay, how do our property managers get into that zone and that flow? And if you're a really good problem solver in terms of a property manager, okay, maybe you should be in this area because that's where you succeed. At the moment, we kind of expect them all to be jacks of all trades. They have to problem solve, they have to be a counsellor, they have to do everything on a day-to-day. But some people don't like it. Some of my guys aren't conflict people. And an outgoing is normally where there's conflict. So why should we put them in a situation where they have to do outgoings? So really just looking at those kind of systems and processes in our business.
Looking at the industry overall now, take you out of your business, what do you think are some of the challenges for the property management industry over the next 12 months?
Legislation, I think, is probably one of our biggest challenges.
It's ongoing though, isn't it? I mean, it's always a hassle.
It's always been a hassle, and it's been very slow in terms of changes and old in the thought processes. Is
technology taking us, is that making it more complicated? In other words, the legislation's not keeping up with the technology?
Yeah, absolutely. When we look at even just lease signings and original signatures and like all those kind of things, have always been slow to being able to change them. And why, when I can get something from my accountant overseas and sign off on it, but I can't do it for a real estate or signing a lease? I can, but it's just been really slow in terms of it. And technology is here, and it's almost like we're going to do it and we're going to ask for forgiveness later kind of mentality, it seems like at the moment. But technology has, and legislation has really fragmented our growth for change, our opportunity for change probably.
Tamsin, great talking to you. Thank you so much for your time, and great success ahead for you guys. Really appreciate having you in the show as well.
I appreciate the opportunity, Kevin.